One quick little afterthought that I had intended to speak about and ran out of time. My 15 minutes are a self-imposed limit that I think is worth attending to, although here I am now violating it. I think one of the things that makes the last stanza so powerful is that suddenly, having spoken only of time and history and the scene in front of the poet and the sounds that the pebbles make, suddenly a new character is introduced, his beloved. Our love, let us be true to one another. And knowing, as many people do, that this was written around the time of his honeymoon in Dover, in the very place that the title Dover Beach lays upon the poem. And knowing that, we have a particular person to add to the story as his love. And I think I just wanted to say that by introducing his beloved into the poem, rather than continuing to reflect on what Sophocles heard or what the retreat of the sea of Christian faith means for the dreary edges of the world, now deprived of the beautiful comfort of faith. Beyond that, which could have been a perfectly adequate meditation, suddenly we're plunged into Hollywood, I'm almost tempted to say. What I mean is plunged into the all-important place that love and romance have in storytelling, in poetry, in all narrative forms, in which the speaker and his or her lover are emblematic of all the hope that is in the world, the hope of happiness. And at the same time, when he says, let us be true to one another, for the world that seems so beautiful and fine is actually totally without any of the qualities that we hope for when we feel the joy of newness in us, in our relationship. In saying so, he conjures all the elements that make narrative conventional, if you like. Narrative without love is stripped of its natural inclination, its natural impetus and force, towards which all narrative tends, looking for love, looking for the thing that makes the very idea of life worthwhile. And here it is, and here in the midst of these despairing thoughts brought on by the endlessly repeated thunder of the pebbles, in the midst of these thoughts is the love pair, the love couple, the honeymooning couple, with the poet summoning his love to the window to see the beautiful world that is there, which he describes at the very beginning of the poem. It's the sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the straits. Has a very Shakespearean ring to it. The moon lies fair upon the straits. From there we move. He says, listen, you hear the grating roar. And he's speaking to us, but as we later realize also to her, to his beloved. And the very concept of the beloved and the concept of hope as narrative enshrines it, is introduced to the poem only to be throttled by the bleakness of the world and our human manifestations, which stretch back in the poet's mind to the Greeks and forwards again, And each time we find love and feel in it everything that is beautiful and various and new, we have to acknowledge that there is none of that in the world itself. We have to be true to one another in order to realize some of the beauty that is inherent in the world. And it reminds us how forceful Hollywood is, how forceful the movies are with their recurrent love stories to which they're drawn as if by the very nature of storytelling, and correctly so, I think. So I think that's implicit in the poem, that it contemplates the meaningful ways in which we could tell stories to ourselves about what to believe in and what to hope for, while it reminds us of the terrible absence of all those glorious elements in the world around us. Thank you. I just wanted to mention that.